Hello, my fabulous fifth graders. All right, today we are going over our additional practice 1-2, decimals to the thousandth. So patterns can help you read and write decimals. For an example, this decimal is 8/10. We write it as a fraction as 8/10. In word form, it is 8/10, okay? Then we're gonna go to 8/100. Written as a fraction, 8/100, 8/100. Word form is 8/100. Then now we're going over 1, 2, 3 place values, which this would be the thousandths. This is 8/1000. 8/1000 is 8/1000. Here it is written in word form. 8/10 is 10 times as great as 8/100. Because remember, when we were going over our anchor chart today, right? When we started with our place value, if we went from a smaller number to a bigger number, we were multiplying, okay? 8/100 is smaller than 8/10, okay? Remember that, because if you look at it in fraction form, it's a lot easier to see. You know, when you're dividing up a cake, right? If we cut it into 10 slices, that's not too much, but if you cut it into 100 slices, those slices are going to be really small. So the bigger the number on the bottom, the smaller it actually is. So here we said that 8/10 is 10 times as great as 8/100. Now, 10 times 10 equals 100 times, so 8/10 is 100 times as great as 8/1000. Because in our place value, we would jump 2 times up. So that is 100 times as more. Now if we think about it the opposite way, and we're going from a smaller place value to a larger place value, you could say that 8/1000 is 1/10 of 8/100, right? Okay, and also 8/100 is 1/10 of 8/10. All right, now for numbers 1 through 4, you have to fill in the blanks. Now, be very careful how you are reading this, okay? Here we have 6/100 is 10 times greater, or excuse me, 10 times as great as. So already, remember, when we see is, it's equals. So really what we're saying is that 6/100 equals 10 times what? So what would I start out with if I multiply by 10 would give me 6/100. If you're confused, look up here, okay? We know that 8/10 is 10 times as great as 8/100. So if we start at the hundredths and we multiply by 10, we get to the tenths. If you start at the thousandths and you multiply by 10, you get to the hundredths. So once again, what do we need to multiply by to get to the hundredths? Hopefully you were saying the thousandths. So this one would be 6/1000. 6/100 is 10 times as great as 6/1000. Okay? Now, if you go jump right down here to number 3, it's saying the same thing. This time I'm going to help you, but I'm not going to give you the answer, okay? We have 5/10 is 100 times as great as. Same thing here, where we're going 5/10 is means equals 100 times as great as what number? So something times 100 is going to give you 5/10. Remember, one jump to the left is times 10. 2 jumps to the left is times 100. Think about that. All right, now for number 2, we have 2/1000 is 1/10 of what number? So here we're saying 2/1000 is, so equals 1/10 of what number? So what number, if I multiply by 1/10, will give me 2 thousandths. This time when we see 1/10, we are jumping to the right, okay? When we multiply by the whole number, we go to the left. This time we're multiplying by the fraction, so we need to go back to the right, okay? So if I start at the thousandths and I'm only going 1/10, that's one jump. What would that be? All right, same thing down here. We have 7 hundredths is 1/10 of. You should be able to write it down like I did. All right, for numbers 5 through 12, write each decimal as a fraction. Now, I'm going to read the first one for you and give you a little bit of hints, but I can't read the rest of them because if I read them out loud, it's going to tell you exactly how to write them, okay? So, when I'm taking a look here, here's my ones place, here's my decimal. Right after the decimal is our tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Since it ends in the thousandths, I'm going to write that 9. It's the only digit there. It's going to be my numerator. My denominator is its place value, which is thousandths, okay? So 9 thousandths, all right? Same thing as over here. Notice what place value is it in? Now, with this one, we have 105. So I'm not just going to write the 5 down, okay? The only reason I only wrote a 9 is because we don't have any tenths and we don't have any hundredths. This time we have 1/10, 0 hundredths, and 5 thousandths, okay? So another hint, this one will be 105 thousandths. You should be able to complete the rest of these with how I did this one. All right. Now, for numbers 13 through 20, we're going to write a fraction as a decimal. So if you can read it as a fraction, you should be able to write it as a decimal, okay? Now, if 9 1/1000ths is 0.009, 8 1/1000ths would be the same. There are no ones. We have our decimal. No tenths, no hundredths, but there are 8 thousandths, okay? So on and so forth for all of these. All right. Hannah is beginning a science experiment in the lab. The instructions call for 322 thousandths of a kilogram of potassium. Write 322 thousandths as a fraction. So you should be able to do that one, writing it as a fraction just like we did with the previous ones. Number 22. Denali is the highest mountain peak in North America with an elevation of 20,320 feet. What is the value of the digit 3 in 20,320? So this digit here, what is it really worth? It's not just a 3. How much is it worth? Number 23. Jorge said that 29 thousandth can be written as 29 hundredths. Is he correct? Explain. So here, I don't want you to write no or yes. If it's yes, explain why it is yes. If it is no, give me what it would be as a fraction. All right, number 24. The area of the continent of North America is about 9,540,000 square miles. Write 9,540,000 in expanded form using multiplication by place values. So remember, that's expanded notation. Sorry for the interruption, friends. Okay, so as I was saying, that was our expanded notation. So I'm going to show you how to do the first digit just in case we don't remember. Now, also, if you don't remember, it is on our 1-1 homework that should be attached to this page as well, okay? Our expanded notation is when we pull out the digit, okay, which will be a 9. This 9 was in the 10 millions, so we multiply it by 10 million, okay? So for this one, this 9 just so happens to also be a 9, but it is actually in the millionths place. So my first one that I'm going to write down is 9, where I'm pulling out that digit. Then I'm multiplying it by its place value. It's in the millionth, so I need to multiply it by 1 million. Then I'm going to add my plus. Your next digit, pull it down as a 5. Then you need to fill out the rest. What place value is this 5 in? What would you multiply it by? All right, fill out the rest of that one. Number 25. What part of the entire square is shaded? Write your answer as a fraction and as a decimal. So I need to have two things here. You need a fraction and a decimal for number 25. 26. Write the fractions 5/10, 5/100, and 5/1000 as decimals. Okay, so there should be 3 decimals down here. Then tell me how the decimals are related. How many jumps? All right, number 27. Complete the sentence below using one of the words below. We have the words standard, word, and expanded. Okay. We have, I think they forgot a 0 here or misplaced. They must have missed a 0 here. 200,000 plus 90,000 plus 6,000 plus 80 is written in blank form. So you are using either standard form, word form, or expanded form. Number 28. Write a 7-digit number such that the value of the digit in the 10,000s place is 100 times the value of the digit in the hundreds place. So 7 digits. If I were you, I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? This will be your ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, million place. Okay? You need to fill this in so that the digit in the 10,000s place is 100 times the digit in the hundreds place. You can create any numbers that you would want, but it needs to be 7 numbers, and the 10,000 has to be 100 times the hundreds. All right, number 29. We have 300ths is 1/10 of which decimal. So you have to remember, if you set up your place value chart, which direction is 1/10. Okay, now number 30. 2/10 is 10 times as great as which decimal? All right.